Tell you, it's a different story on the road, and the Timberwolves may find that out tonight. Our Bud Light starting lineups. First, we go to the front court for these two teams. And, of course, for Minnesota, Garnett in the middle with Sprewell and Irvin Johnson. Carmelo Anthony, Nene, and Marcus Camby for the Nuggets.
Carmelo Anthony has to attack. He cannot let the defense take the ball out of his hands.
Sam Cassell and the defensive specialist Trenton Hassel, along with Bashan Leonard and Andre Miller for Denver.
Andre Miller has been badly outplayed. The Nuggets have to come alive. They've been intimidated. They're playing scared. All the pressure is on Carmelo Anthony to breathe some life into this team. Let's go. This is the playoffs.
You saw the terrific numbers for Kevin Garnett. Those are the numbers for Anthony. He has not played as well in his first two playoff games. It's not a surprise. They've focused on stopping him. What does he need to do differently in Game 3, Bill?
Play the complete game. Minnesota's taken the ball out of his hands. Nobody can keep you from rebounding and passing and inspiration. He's waiting too long.
Well, he is a rookie, and he is rather young. As Carmelo Anthony won't turn 20 until next month. But he's a player that doesn't lose his composure. He's a very poised young man, and he's confident that the Nuggets can turn it around. They have been so good here at the Pepsi Center during the regular season, 29-12. They won their last 7 games at home. And boy, is this crowd ready. They've been waiting for a long time for a home playoff game.
And that's what Jeff Buzdelik said. Let's take advantage of this crowd. Get the fever pitch going. Attack on the offensive end, where they've averaged 107 points in that 7-game home court winning streak.
Sam Cassell with the block shot. Miller tried to post him up. And Cassell, of course, who did all his scoring in Game 1 with the 40-point game, also doing a little defending as well. Meanwhile, Minnesota tied for Indiana for the best road record in the NBA. Garnett misses that one. This year they were a very strong 27-14 on the road. They were 1-1 here in Denver during the regular season. But as we found out in the last couple of weeks, it's like a different season in the playoffs.
But history, Mike, has not been kind in road playoff games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's what the MVP is all about. Kevin Garnett has got to rise to the occasion. Nene doing a nice job early.
You know, but with all the numbers you can talk about Minnesota in the past in the playoffs, Bill, as Garnett takes a tough shot. Good defense from Nene, and it's Denver ball. This is a complete different team. They are not the same. So you can make all the references to 7 first-round losses. This is a complete different team.
Kevin McHale, who I voted for as Executive of the Year in the NBA, did a remarkable job of assembling a roster that complements Kevin Garnett and doesn't put him out there to dry all by himself.
Shocking that you would pick a Celtic for Executive of the Year. As Leonard knocks down the first bucket. Sprewell had the 7 threes in Game 2. That's a 2. And he knocks it down. Sprewell has had better numbers on the road this season. And that just superb game the other night as Andre Miller misfires.
That's a record-setting performance. First in Game 1 by Cassell. 5 for 6 from behind the three-point line. And then Sprewell comes right back to the OBI. You stopped too early, Sam, on your way to the record. Very next game, busted himself.
Carmelo Anthony for 3. And that's his first three-pointer of the series. He was 0 for 6 before knocking that one down.
The Denver Nuggets, the worst three-point shooting team in this year's playoffs. They must reverse that trend.
Well, this crowd so into the game, as you would expect. Camby called for a reach-in. And Marcus Camby picks up his first. Danny Crawford warns Carmelo Anthony once the whistles blow, stop.
Carmelo Anthony in transition. His ability to get free. Using that screen, Trent Hassel, who was one of the game's premier defensive players, done a remarkable job on Carmelo Anthony, particularly since Hassel gives up so much size and strength.
Miller picks up Sprewell. Garnett. An easy one down low for Kevin Garnett, who hasn't shot well in the series, just 39%, but he's the leading rebounder in the postseason, as you saw earlier. 21 rebounds a game over the first 2.
Why is so negative? Looking for something? I mean, they're up 2-0. The guy's getting 20 and 20 every game.
Nene double team. That's the scary thing, though, Bill, how they won both games by 14. Oh, tight pitches from Camby. And Nene with the slam.
With no sense of the intimidation and the Turn his back, bringing the ball at the court. They've succeeded in that. Every game plan point has worked for Denver.
Garnett, beautiful post-up move from Kevin Garnett. And Garnett with his second field goal.
But everything's from the perimeter for Kevin Garnett, with the one exception of his slash off the UCLA cut down the lane.
Anthony makes a move. There he is called for the double-triple. Tom Washington right on it.
I like Nene, the guy who's head-to-head matched up, just 21 years old, the youngest of 3 children from San Carlos, Brazil, 2 hours to the east of Sao Paulo, Brazil, one of this world's great cities.
Nene, though, picking up the foul on his ball denial. Nene, one of 7 Nuggets playing in their first ever playoff series. It's a very inexperienced playoff team, but he's a good physical defender. His problem has been that he gets in foul trouble. That's his first.
Well, he's a very inexperienced player generally. Grew up playing soccer, didn't really play basketball much, didn't have the coaching advantages that so many players in this country have.
So he's still learning fundamentals. Cassell left wide open and can't knock it down, but Irvin Johnson with the rebound.
Nene is still learning the English language as well.
Trenton Hassel can't hit, and Carmelo Anthony the rebound. Anthony said he was going to be very patient as Leonard Mustafa can't get the offensive rebound. Took it away from Garnett. This is the largest lead the Nuggets have had in the series thus far.
This is the only time in this series that Denver's played with any sort of hope, any sort of confidence. I mean, in the sense that they finally believe.
And Garnett kicks it back out. Offensive rebounds were key in game 1. Garnett can't hit that one. Ball last touched by Irvin Johnson. And it's an area that Denver's improved on.
When you're able to get a rebound away from the game's best rebounder in Kevin Garnett, you're on top of your game, as Marcus Camby, the former Knick, is doing. Injured through most of his career. Former second-round pick overall in the NBA draft after Allen Iverson.
Played a career-high 72 games this year, and that's been the key because when he's been healthy, he's been terrific. Did so with the Knicks, and now here with Denver. Kiki Vandeweghe, the general manager here in Denver. You can talk all you want about Carmelo Anthony and what a great rookie season he's had, but Camby staying healthy and being a force inside has been huge for this team.
But this Denver franchise, Denver shooting 50%, completely different Denver team. Something happened on that plane ride. Maybe it was the speech this morning. Great layoff.
Oh, beautiful give and go. And a timeout called by Minnesota.
Minnesota's got to get to work. They left their game at the Target Center.
Look at that score up in the air as Serbiak off the dribble 10 minutes ago. But, you know, Bzdelic is very grateful to Vandeweghe, and he told us that this morning. Hey, he gave me my chance to be a head coach, and even if something changes, I'll still always be loyal and still root for this team. But he's very confident in his ability. His Sprewell fouled away from the ball. The TWolves racking up the personal fouls, and now they're in the penalty.
Jeff Bzdelic, native of Chicago, he went to Mount Prospect High School, then 4 seasons at the University of Illinois in Chicago. A school now led by the legend Jimmy Collins, who played his great NCAA basketball days at New Mexico State. But what Bzdelic did is LeBron James is in the house. How nice. LeBron James in support of his very good friend Carmelo Anthony, the NBA's Rookie of the Year. Carmelo received a call from LeBron about the announcement of LeBron getting it. And LeBron and Carmelo were both surprised as to how one-sided that vote was. But the voters cannot split their vote, which hurt Carmelo immeasurably.
They both had great rookie seasons. Sprewell, that's a 3. Comes up short, but Garnett right there for the tip in. And they had missed 7 shots in a row before Garnett able to put that in.
Well, Kevin Garnett does not get a lot of offensive rebounds. He's the focus of the offensive attack, so he's often on the perimeter or shooting. Nice drive. Offensive foul, they waved it off.
Billy Kennedy says no. Nene pushing off with the left arm. Picks up his second personal.
This is a special talent, Nene. His ability to get to the hoop, the strength of his hands.
That's a good call, though. He pushed off.
Great call.
By the way, you talk about players playing in their first playoff game. Billy Kennedy, one of the officials, officiating his first playoff game.
No way.
And that's on. That's based on merit with the officials.
He's long overdue for a playoff.
Miller, foul on the entry pass.
This isn't your first playoff game, is it, Mike?
No, I've had a few others with you, in fact. As Denver and Andre Miller. This is his first playoff series, Andre Miller.
Obviously memorable occasions.
13 foul against Denver. Dene sits down with his 2 personal fouls, and Chris Anderson, Mr. Hustle player, out there now trying to guard Garnett. They've got a lot of fouls to give on Garnett. Cassell for 3. Ball tipped in, another offense. No, Camby takes it away. To 8. Unbelievable start for the Nuggets.
Perfect in all aspects. And it's the Timberwolves who are acting as if this series is over. Cassell and Sprewell not getting it done.
Life's a little different here in Denver. The series was in Minnesota as Garnett knocks it down. Although Camby, that's a great play. But then he kind of gave himself an alley-oop to himself. You got to be careful. You're still down 0-2. And you need to make sure you get the points before you start getting fancy.
You generally want to save those for the fourth quarter when you're up by 30.
Agreed. Oliver Candy. Michael Oliver Candy, who's done a solid job coming off the bench, brings Minnesota to within 13.
One of the real strengths of this Minnesota team is its depth. And with Oliver Candy and Wally Szczerbiak, 2 traditional starters, playing off the bench now, they get more touches with the offensive firepower that Saunders has in his starting line.
Denver shooting 62% from the field as they lead by 15.
But no shot blocking whatsoever from Minnesota. You guys are getting to the hoop with impunity.
They're not a big shot blocking team as Cassell knocks down his first field goal. He was 0 for 5.
Top to bottom. And 4 out of 7 is Pharaoh. Let's talk about Earl Boykins. How does he do it? How does he do that?
He told me he wanted you in the low post.
Oh, boy. It was great to shake hands and stand next to him.
The Cleveland native Earl Boykins, Eastern Michigan University. Nice post-entry pass.
Dene. Barry for 3. And Dene tips it out. But a loose ball foul is going to be called. We have 2 different officials making a call. Danny Crawford says no. It's Mark Madsen who's grabbed the arm of Dene. So Madsen picks up the foul, and that's the second against the Timberwolves.
Now, Commissioner, so much of your efforts have been over the years to help the small market teams. They're all doing really well. Denver, San Antonio, Sacramento, Minnesota.
Portland just missed. That's what you try to do. You try to have a collective bargaining agreement that lets any city that's well managed and well run have a chance to compete. So it's pretty exciting for us to see the way it's working.
Well, what about the concerns for the New Yorks and Chicagos and Philadelphias and Boston?
They'll be fine. They have the resources, and they're each one. Boston, New York made the playoffs. Chicago's had a tough couple of years, but
the throw down by Nene. Denver playing exquisite basketball.
Leonard. Nice move from Leonard. And Johnson will help start the fast break for Minnesota.
Where's the contained defense for the Timberwolves?
Another turnover.
Nice.
Miller with 10 points. And this is the largest lead of the first half. And a foul on the entry pass. Nuggets not in the penalty yet. So Minnesota will take it out of bounds. And A picks up his 3rd.
The crispness that avoided the Denver Nuggets in games 1 and 2 is back. The strong finish to their season.
And there you see, that is huge. They were best in the NBA in that department. But in the first 2 games, they had 13 and 12. Well, they've got 13 fast break points already. And we're still in the first half.
Hasn't the New Jersey Nets been the team that's been best in the league at fast break points the last couple of years?
Previous 2 years, yes. Not the case this year. It was the Nuggets.
Minnesota has yet to take a free throw attempt. That's inexcusable. They were standing on the perimeter.
One time the perimeter worked well as Zerbiak knocks that one down. 5 points for Zerbiak. Lead cut to 15.
Yeah, but if you're going to win on the road, you have to get to the line. That's what quiets the crowd. Nice move.
Anthony doing it from inside and outside.
He's got his rhythm now.
14 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists, and one of his big fans, LeBron James, enjoying it. But the Nugget defense has been crucial as Zerbiak knocks it down. That's a 2-pointer. Because if they play good defense, then all of a sudden they get possessions, they get turnovers, and they start their fast break offense.
If you're Denver, just keep pushing the ball. Keep it wide open. Sam Cassell is having a nightmare of an evening.
Sprewell hits the 3. Sprewell was just 1 of 5 before that one. And that again cuts it back to 12. And Jeff Bezdelik says, let's talk things over.
Bezdelik has done a much better job of controlling the tempo of this game with his timeouts and substitutions.
Carmelo Anthony in his 3rd playoff game has been superb here.
A different team than we saw in the first 2 games, Coach.
Well, in the first half, Nowitzki dominated the game and got a big lead. And then in the second half, this guy, Marquise Daniels, was just a fantastic rookie. For a rookie to come into the game and do what he did in the second half. Dallas had more athleticism, more rebounding, more quickness, more speed. Sacramento, in a lot of ways, just did not show up tonight.
Marquise Daniels and his good buddy Josh Howard handling their business. 22 points for Daniels and the best. Oops, upside your head.
Nice lob. Desmond Mason's one of the best at going to get it.
But too much interior presence and, well, it was inside and outside. Ben Wallace, the dunk, he had 21 rebounds. And Coach, how about outside?
Well, Ben Wallace got in foul trouble, came out in the second half, dominated inside, and Billups and Hamilton came on in the second half, scored 28 points of the 52 for Detroit. Billups had the 3rd quarter. Hamilton handled the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Michael Redd tried to keep it close. He had 19 points, but there's your guy, Rip Hamilton, with the jumper. He had 17 points, 5 and 10 from the floor. Pistons, a gutty win.
Great win. I thought it showed its character. Right now, it's the time of the year where the face of a champion is being developed. I like the karma in Detroit.
Do you? Okay, not Indiana.
I like the karma in Detroit.
All right, the Heat and the Hornets, and the Hornets trying to get back in this series. Lamar Odom trying to keep them out. 4th quarter cuts the lead to 4. 18 points for Lamar, but too much of Baron Davis.
The story was Baron Davis and David Wesley, 2 old veterans that have been starting for this team for many, many years. They needed a basket with 2 minutes ago. They ran a flare screen at the top. David Wesley delivered.
Late, one of the last chances for the Miami Heat, and here's the defense from the Hornets.
Miami shot 32% for the game. You cannot win on the road. They got close, but you can't win with 32% shooting on the road.
Well, all of a sudden, the Hornets climb back into this series with the 77-71 win. It is now a 2-1 lead for the Heat, but you like the Heat, don't you?
I like the spirit of the Heat. The last 6 weeks of the season, Miami Heat was legit. They did a lot of good stuff. I think they're going to find
some of the usuals leading their team, including Kevin Garnett.
Well, the MVP, Kevin Garnett, got it done with points, rebounds, and assists. Sadly, did not get to the free throw line, though. It was Carmelo Anthony who set a pace that no one could match, including getting on the boards himself. And it was fast break points for the Denver Nuggets, who just absolutely destroyed Minnesota here. And it was very sad because Minnesota, they come in here as the best team in the Western Conference, and they get pushed around in a game I think they need to win, because now with momentum on the side of the Denver Nuggets, how do you put that fire out?
Well, still, though, if Minnesota loses this game and then wins game 4, they still go back 3-1, so they're in good shape. But you knew Denver was going to come out with this kind of force. This building's so alive, first playoff game in 9 years, and in some ways, down 13 the way they played in some areas, they're still in an okay position.
That's a big if, losing game 3 and then winning game 4.
But the big note on that Hummer game track was the fast break points, and that's been the difference for Denver. That's where they play their best. They're not a great set-up half-court team, as Trenton Hassel showing some offense. And Hassel with his second field goal.
Excuse me, Mike. Denver has outworked Minnesota on the backboards. +5 overall. Denver has 9 offensive rebounds.
8 of them came in the second quarter. Camby foul on his way to the basket. Sam Cassell hit him. And Cassell picks up his second.
Personal foul on number 19, Sam Cassell. His second personal, first Minnesota team.
Cassell had the 40 points in game 1. It was Sprewell who took over in game 2. And the only one in double figures in game 3 is Garnett. They're going to call that in the act of shooting a continuation. So Camby will go to the line.
I'm happy for Marcus Camby, whose career seemed to be in a spiral in the wrong direction. But now everything coming back alive. His health is returned. It's in a positive situation.
Well, that's why his career was kind of on a standstill, because when he's been healthy, he's played extremely well. However, he was 1 of 2 at the line. He can opt out of his contract after this year and said he probably will test it. But the Nuggets could use it. Nuggets going to have a lot of salary cap space, maybe as much as $20 million this summer.
Well, they had that last year, too.
Garnett. But it's a different scenario coming off a team that wins 17 games and then a team that wins 43 with Carmelo Anthony. It's a lot more enticing to come and play here.
Well, when they see what Kiki Vandeweghe has done, have you seen the Denver Nugget locker room? It's like a Las Vegas hotel.
Irvin Johnson pokes it away. And here comes Cassell. Sam Cassell knocks down a 3, and all of a sudden it's a 7-point game.
And it's a walk-it-up game. The defense here, what's Jeff Bledsoe going to do to be able to get the tempo going with his team's strength?
Carmelo Anthony had a terrific first half.
Nice job by Trent Hassel.
Shot clock winding down. Pretty free. Nene is a good passer.
The year in Bill Russell's first season. Russell only played half the year playing in the Melbourne Olympics in '56.
There is a long list of players who did not win Rookie of the Year who had spectacular careers. Meanwhile, Minnesota within 7. Ball knocked out of bounds. Still Denver ball. Minnesota has won 11 straight games. First 2 of the playoffs, the last 9 of the regular season. They were a terrific road team, as we said earlier, tied with Indiana for the best road record. So they're a team that even though they get down on the road, they won't panic. They've got the veterans who can handle it. As Leonard found the 2-pointer.
Minnesota has won 2 road playoff games in franchise history. That's not good.
But it's a different team. You can't even bring that up. As far as franchise playoff history, I don't even think it's relevant, because this is a complete different team. Sprewell fouled and 1. Latrell Sprewell knocks it down as Leonard hit him. Leonard picks up his first. Sprewell with a chance for the 3-point play.
It's great to see Irvin Johnson over there talking to Latrell Sprewell. What a team guy Irvin Johnson is. Every coach he's ever played for, including George Karl in our studio tonight. Current coach Flip Saunders talking about just what he means, Irvin Johnson, to a basketball team.
He is one of the nicest people you'll meet in or out of sports, and he especially takes young teammates under their wing. Michael Redd told us earlier this season Irvin Johnson was his biggest basketball influence he's had in his young career, just because how encouraging he can be. Miller misses that. Johnson, nice tip. And Johnson is just, he went to Flip Saunders earlier this year when Michael Olowokere got off the injured list, said, start him. I think you should start him. Let him get back on the floor. Anthony can't hit it. Can be the offensive rebound. Nice feed. Camby with beautiful setups for his teammates. And the Nuggets back up by 9.
Quickness to the ball. Can't beat it. So often determines games.
Garnett. Nene played him well. Irvin Johnson the rebound. And it's still Minnesota ball. 5 on the shot clock.
Carmelo Anthony, beautiful ball fake. I mean, this guy is a scorer. One of the problems that he's had in this series is that as they've taken the ball out of his hands, he's just kind of gone into a funk. Not so here in the 3rd quarter. The throwdown, the celebration, using the basket as a jungle gym.
Tell you what, Nene's physical presence is Sam Cassell. Fouls Nene in the backcourt, try and stop the fast break. So Cassell picks up his second personal for the Timberwolves. Their first team foul.
How many lottery picks does this Denver Nugget team have? You're talking Andre Miller, Nene, Carmelo Anthony at number 3, Rodney White, who doesn't even get into the game, Skittish Billy, who didn't even make the playoff roster.
Cassell, by the way, that's his 3rd foul. 9-point Denver lead. We played just over 4 minutes here in the 3rd period. Denver's been up by as many as 18. They've led the entire way. Minnesota's cut it to 7 a couple of times here in the third. Anthony, tough shot, won't go. Sprewell comes right back. I thought Garnett had the rebound secured.
When you're throwing down a dunk over Kevin Garnett, who apparently already has the ball in his possession, this is the game's best rebounder.
Camby has 11 rebounds tonight. Nene, good aggressive move. Boy, Jeff Bezdelik told the Nuggets, I want you to play with heart tonight. They are certainly playing that way tonight.
Hey, let's give some credit to the strength and conditioning coach from the Denver Nuggets, Steve Hess, from South Africa, who's got these guys in tip-top physical shape.
Irvin Johnson. Anthony with the rebound. Rashawn Leonard. And Sprewell helping out on the boards. A sellout crowd here at the Pepsi Center has made it difficult for Minnesota. Flips on his one time.
A bit of fatigue for both teams. The pace blistering right now. Strategic, wise move by Flip Saunders.
But it's certainly a pace that favors the Denver Nuggets. Marcus Camby flying in. Garnett ready to grab it. Oh, no, sir. Camby with 11.
Extremely well in this year's playoffs.
And a foul away from the ball. Will go against Denver.
Personal foul on Nene, his fourth.
Nene picks up now 4. So Nene with 4. Francisco Elson will come in.
Cisco Elson checks in for Nene.
That's a foul.
Well, I think it came after that when he was trying to reestablish post position.
We could only hope.
Zerbiak back in from Minnesota. Zerbiak, of course, who had all that foot injury, missed the first 53 games, starting to get comfortable. Has plenty of time there. Wow. You rarely see him miss something wide open like that.
Yeah, but you just come in and have the very first touch. You basically have to put it up because you're so open. That's a difficult scenario.
Anthony was calling for the ball. Sprewell trying to crowd him.
You basically have to put it up because you're so open. That's a difficult scenario.
Anthony was calling for the ball. Sprewell trying to crowd him. Carmelo Anthony sit down. 18 points to the rookie.
And they're calling something here between Ellison and Olowokandi.
Looks like we'll see a double technical. Olowokandi up to 15. Carmelo Anthony, who had such a fabulous rookie season, perhaps even above the high expectations he came in with, had a rough time in the first 2 games of his playoff career. But he is soaring here tonight. 20.7 rebounds for the rookie from
here, including Marcus Camby with the dish. The offensive rebounds, they have had no success in controlling Camby, who has dominated the paint area, with Carmelo Anthony in an offensive rhythm and groove, knowing that Wally Zerbiak and Charles Sprewell can't guard him. Why not go for some lobs? Who wants the long haul? But he was singing everybody's praises out there.
Saunders and Jeff Bezdelik, 2 terrific coaches who don't have the NBA history in their past, weren't big-time players, played at college, but certainly not NBA
Over
players.
the top.
Camby just threw it too high, but Madsen couldn't control it.
They're just teasing him right now.
A 3. Camby with the shot clock winding down. Everything going Denver's way. Camby's first 3-pointer of the year. Madsen. And a whistle and a foul. Camby during the regular season had only taken 2 3-pointers and missed them both.
Obviously, he's a player who shoots them in desperation. Up against the shot clock, the lob pass is hit nothing but glass. That's a good hard play on the ball. Wally Zerbiak, who spent a month recently in a cast trying to immobilize that foot to get the plantar fasciitis to go away.
I'm amazed he's still playing. You could hear the thud when he went down.
You could feel it. The push of the ball by Boykin. No looking back right now for the Nuggets.
Sprewell's been guarding Anthony, trying to crowd him. Anthony not settling for jumpers. That time, tough shot. Not a good one. A rare bad shot tonight from Carmelo Anthony. Zerbiak trying to create some space. Offensive foul. He pushed off to the right arm.
Nice to see John Barry having a positive contribution here. His dad, Rick, is here. Rick with the Hall of Famer, his wife, Lynn. Their son, Canyon. John Barry, 12 years now in the NBA. Who would have ever thought?
He's in the playoffs for his 8th straight year. It's not a coincidence. He's a guy that makes winning plays. He's played for 4 different teams. The most experienced playoff man on their roster.
He's the kind of guy I would have loved to have played with, John Barry.
Boykins. Boykins. Here's the technical foul. Kevin Garnett trying to knock it away. And then watch Andre Miller. Pushes him. I know it's a minor thing, but the officials want to make sure it doesn't get carried away right now. Garnett having words, but Miller got the technical foul for the push. Now you'd say, why not give the technical to Garnett? If anything, that would be a delay of game penalty, not really a technical, as they hit the free throw. And these are games like this for officials. Officials love close games. They want a game that's close. It's the games that have a wide difference or a big margin are ones that are difficult because play can get sloppy. Guys can get frustrated, get a little out of hand.
Minnesota's just not having any fun tonight. They've been badly outworked throughout. I think they need to take a little tip from you, Mike, and have a plate of food delivered to the table and enjoy a fun evening of NBA playoff basketball.
They're going to have to shake this one off. Good, strong move from Garnett.
But they've come with Trent Hassel on it.
Another offensive rebound. Oh, ball by Camby to Anthony. Marcus Camby with his 5th assist and another beautiful pass to a teammate. Zerbiak misfires.
They have let the genie out of the bottle here in Denver.
Anthony. 18 offensive rebounds for the Nuggets, who open up a 19-point lead again.
Minnesota has sadly given up. I mean, Carmelo Anthony's getting his own missed layups and sticking it back in. I didn't think the altitude would have that much of an impact.
Trent Hassel. He's fouled. 2-shot foul with 5:01 remaining. And the Nuggets back in control.
Denver, one of 4 cities in the NBA whose elevation exceeds 1,000 feet above.
The Denver Nuggets have shared the ball. That's what Jeff Brzdelik told him. Be unselfish tonight. Share the ball. Trust your teammate. Trust you'll get it back for an open shot.
And all the advantages that the Timberwolves got from the first 2 games at home completely disappeared.
Sprewell knocks down another 3. Sprewell with 25 points. During the regular season, 29-12 on their home floor. That is a terrific home record. They won their last 7 here at the Pepsi Center. And they have just been superb tonight. And really what was a must-win.
The base shot. I harken back to what Brzdelik said this morning. Our team is plagued by paralysis by analysis. We're thinking too much. Let's get out there and play our game. And throw down some dunks.
Layup and one. Nene is 7 of 8 from the field.
And he's been plagued by foul trouble all night.
Timeout in Denver. It's been all Nuggets.
They gave the game ball to Jeff Brzdelik. Now that's a class act right there. Well deserved.
Final score 107-86. Minnesota still leads the best of 7 series 2-1. Stay tuned. SportsCenter's next. This has been a presentation of ESPN with Bill Walton, Mike Breen, and our entire crew. So long from Denver.